I'm a nobody, baby. Light me up, pour me up. I'm gone. Got me seeing genies in a bottle. Liquor got me feeling like a wrestler. Call me Santiago. Everyone listen when I speak. Don't know shit about shit, but I know ball.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 146. We are live, guys, on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. Another beautiful Wednesday evening. As you can tell, Rafa, the guru, still on vacay. I think he's in Miami somewhere rolling up a cigar or something. But we got you covered, man. As we promised, we have a special guest in the house. But before I introduce him, we got Eddie Money, executive producer. What up, man?
What's up? What's up?
How's life?
Going good. Going good.
Okay, I see you removed the lotion from the side of the bed. That's good.
I called out last time, so I had to
You
move
got
it.
called out last time. He said he has a dry skin at night sometimes. And of course, we have Ryan Holmes, our resident somebody. We don't like to call Ryan a nobody, but always our guy. Uh, Quad Pod podcast, wrestling, athlete to athlete. Just got hired at a new gig. Congratulations to you, Ryan.
Thank you, sir.
Always hustling. Back from vacay. How was vacay, Ryan? How'd that go for you?
It was good. We had no cell reception, no internet, so there was no excuse but to just kind of chill out. I fell asleep by the pool and just hung out. My Apple Watch didn't know what was up. It said 12 hours of sleep that one day, and I was like, it's exactly how it should be.
That's wild. So they don't have. Is that a choice or? They don't have
we didn't want to get the internet package. That was strategic by my girlfriend, but I think it was the right move to make, to be completely honest. I'm always so plugged in, whether I'm texting you guys or texting somebody or looking at Twitter or trying to stay up on something. So it was good. We had internet for the one day we made it to Cozumel at the resort, and just made a couple phone calls, let the family know that we were still alive and we were all good, and then it was right back to them drinks, keep them on flowing.
Hell yeah, man. And if you guys don't recognize him already, let me give you an introduction on your bottom right of your screen. We have 3-time California state champ, 2-time NCAA Division I national champion in wrestling, 2-time Pan Am gold medalist, 2023 bronze world medalist at what was it? How many kilos?
92.
92. Probably just stuffing your face and wrestling fools and still getting bronze. And of course, we have world team member, multiple time world team member at all levels, but now he represents the United States at 86 kilos. Zahid Valencia. Everyone give Zahid a hand. Thank you, Zahid. Thank you. Dude, I always love, I don't know if you guys, and Ryan, I know you know who I'm talking about, and Zahid, I know you know who I'm talking about. She used to be the announcer for the California State. She's the one who said everyone. Yes, Sandy. And she used to do the U.S. Open in Vegas too.
Yeah.
She does Fargo too.
Oh, dude, I ran into her like 6-7 years ago, and I specifically told her, I said, can you say Zahid Valencia for me? And she did it. She knew exactly, and she did it. I still can't say it the way she says it, but it's just, I don't know. It's a thing with me. How's it going, Papa? How's life?
It's good. Just I've been traveling a lot. Was at the Olympic Training Center. Then had to go to Ohio for World Team photo shoot. So finally back. I'm here for about 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks before I head out to Germany for acclimation camp, then World Championships in Croatia. So I'm just happy to be back and get into a routine with my training.
Shout out. No, not a wrestler. Is that not a wrestler? Pretty sweet singlet. You're definitely not a wrestler if you are rocking the top ramen singlet. It's full of sodium. Full of sodium. You can't be eating that shit as a wrestler. But yeah, dude, thanks for joining us. You know, just for the record, like St. John, Zahid, St. John Bosco. My sons went to St. John Bosco and known him for a while now. But September, what is it? The 13th to the 21st is the World Championships of Wrestling. It happens every year. And then, of course, every 4 years, you have your Olympics. But Zahid won the spot, and we're just blessed to have you, man. And we know you have a ton of support. But before we get into our full interview with Zahid, and we're going to dive deep into your mental need, I'm going to hypnotize you and fix all your problems. But guys, thank you for joining us. Like I said, we only have one rule on this show. Eddie Money, can you tell them what that rule is on this show?
Don't be a loser, man.
Don't be a loser, man. Don't be a loser. Zahid probably hasn't done much of that in his life. I know he hasn't done much in that, or Ryan himself. But and there's some unwritten rules. Oh, see this guy. Listen, I'm gonna go. That's how you edify. That's how you edify. That's how you edify your guests, man. Are you freaking kidding me? Listen, first of all, I would never do that in front of Zahid, just in my backyard. But I gotta let the people know, man. Yeah, and I don't know who this clown Jake.
Where is he at?
Dude, probably at a hot yoga class somewhere, sweating with a bunch of chicks all over the place. Yeah,
it's strategic. It's strategic.
Yeah, it goes for the chicks, man. It goes for the chicks. It's ridiculous. But guys, we're getting to our first segment, right? It is called "You're Fired or You're Hired." Brought to you by Nomadic. If you look in the corner there, Nomadic travel gear. It's amazing stuff. The sweetest and most just logical gear, and their motto is "Life on the Move," which Zahid knows plenty about. Been all over the world, but that's what we're sponsored. Thank you to Nomadic for sponsoring us. I talked to Kyle at Nomadic. He's going to get us a code. He actually got it to us. I just got to punch all the stuff in, and we're going to get you guys a code so you guys could order and get a little discount and get to nobody's little clout, man. So shout out to Nomadic. But this is "You're Fired or You're Hired." Who wants to start, man? Anyone have something they're pissed off about or want to show some love to?
I got one off the top. I've been waiting for this one a couple of days. Also, I did wear a Nomadic shirt the other day. Actually fit really well. I was surprised.
Fire, right? Fire.
Yeah. But I'm firing ESPN host. I forgot her name. Monica.
Yes.
She went super viral for hosting a show with Stephen A. Smith and Drewski, and he's clearly wearing a Lions Barry Sanders jersey. And she goes, "Let's talk about your ties with Shador Sanders." And like Stephen A. Smith and Drewski are just like, they're just like lost. Like, it's just how you gonna host a sports show and not know who Barry Sanders is,
Hey, yeah. What would whatever that blue is that the Lions wear? How could you?
Yeah, how would that
Honolulu
be?
blue. It's Honolulu blue, man.
Okay. See, I learned something new every day. That was a bad look on ESPN. I'm sure she got a talking to. Like, that was crazy. Barry Sanders, to me, best running back of all time. Don't even mention Emmitt Smith, because he would have never got that record if Barry didn't hang him up. So.
Michael Brown said the last name was McNutt.
Oh, Monica McNutt.
Yeah.
She's a basketball like reporter. She does normally basketball. I didn't see the interview. I completely missed it. I was obviously away. But yeah, Monica McNutt normally does like WNBA and NBA. So
she does do NBA. I've seen her on NBA.
Yeah, she's good. She's good with basketball, but she should probably stay in that realm.
And Sonny is in the Instagram chat. He said, "What's up, Z Money?"
Oh, sunny guy. Freaking sunny guy. Hey, there's everyone. Everyone get your highs out to Zahid, everyone. Who else wants to start off with "You're Fired or You're Hired"? Zahid, are you?
I think this has been a problem for a while. This is just bring it to the wrestling side.
Yeah.
And you saw it at the U20s, is the injury time in freestyle. There's no penalty. So these guys, these foreigners are all taking time. There was a 30-second break. the guy saw that and then just went down and started grabbing his knee, and he got an extra 20, 30 seconds and no penalty, and he could do that as many times as he can. So I just think changing that. And I saw something on Instagram, I think it was today, Ben Askren put up something like you get 90 seconds. First one's like just a warning, you get nothing, and then the second one, caution 1 for calling injury time. So I think that's something that should be added to freestyle wrestling.
Oh my God, that is so freaking stamped, approved. I don't want to make it about me, and Zahid, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
But at Pan Am's, Sonny's in the semifinal match against a veteran from Venezuela. This guy from Venezuela comes out on a big lead. Sonny starts wearing him down. Sonny's about to make a comeback. This guy goes down. And he sat there, caught his breath for like forever, it seemed like.
There's no penalty.
Forever. And clearly got enough rest just to hold Sonny off. If Sonny wins that, Sonny's in the Paris Olympics. Which he told me, he's like, if Sonny made the Olympics before me, I'd kick his ass myself.
No, I would have been happy for him.
Totally valid, Zahid. Totally valid. So you know what? Let's keep it right there for a little bit, since this is going to be really heavy wrestling, everybody. So, bear with it. Wrestling, the best sport in the world, oldest sport in the world. So deal with it. Can I ask both of you guys this question, Ryan and Zahid? Why is the U.S. so dominant in cadet 17 and under, 20 and under? It seems like we sweep the world. It's like no one could freaking touch us. And then when you get to senior level, the rest of the world catches up. I don't know. I'm asking two guys that know the sport well. Do you guys have a theory on this?
I don't have a theory. I think it's something that's been more recent, because when I was making my junior teams, like it was tough, and I think it's still tough. You still see some of these Russians, Iranians making it tough. Like none of these matches were easy, but I think just having RTCs around the country and then doing the camps at the Olympic Training Center and these high schoolers being able to wrestle the senior guys, I think it helps a lot.
Yeah,
that actually makes a ton of sense. Actually, I didn't think about that.
Well, there's a structure too, right? Like the structure around wrestling for us at a young age has grown completely. Where now these younger wrestlers have access to guys like Zahid and guys like David Taylor, and there's so many more, like Zahid said, so many more RTCs. But like, and I'm a good bit older than Zahid. We didn't have those types of structures, right? So if you were really good at wrestling, like Jo was when I was growing up, Jo and I are, family, like they're going to push you more towards these things, where now you have Jordan Burroughs and you have, a lot more of these kids see these guys winning world titles more, where you had to get lucky and see folk style wrestling or freestyle wrestling on TV.
Yeah.
Now we know what these schedules are. There's more access to it. So I feel like the dreams for these kids like PJ Duke, who made like every single one of our freestyle teams from like U20 to U23 and in senior level, they just have way more access and way more structure and way more coaching than a lot of the older, like the other generations did. So, I was fortunate enough to cover Zahid when he was, in high school, and then coming through his teams, and, it was guys like him and Gable and Dayton Fix, and, seeing all of those guys win, you saw also just the access that they had on those levels. So it is certainly different these days, but it's definitely the access that a lot of these kids have.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't like that before. Like I just remember the first kind of memories I have of like it back then was Fila's, like Fila Cadets, Fila Juniors, and everything. It was like my brother and Pico and Gilman, Kuhn making these junior teams and stuff. And like I don't really remember anyone before, so I think now it's just that's so common, and guys are training overseas and getting all this exposure. So I just think it just helps them tremendously. And now it's crazy how good some of these high schoolers are. Like it's evolving. And I think about it, like I watched this Dan Gable video, like remastered him in college, and I'm just like, dude, they suck. I'm just like, this is like just backyard wrestling. They're trying to like go lat drops and throws, and they're just fumbling all over the place. I'm like, it's crazy how far wrestling's gone, and these high schoolers are just taking up a notch because they just have that experience and that feel.
It's
It's
crazy,
awesome to
right?
see, yeah.
That's crazy. It's so true though. And anyone else? Oh, real quick, let's give a little congrats to Zahid and his brother, Anthony Valencia. Just had his first child, baby
Mhm.
boy Luca. How's it feel to be an uncle?
It's
That
awesome. It's awesome. I see the pictures that he sends me, and he's just the cutest little thing. So I just can't wait to go see him. I'll probably go make a trip after Worlds, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna
Oh
be.
man, another generation of Valencia wrestlers. That's he better have a Mexican twin. I don't know if you know a Mexican. I don't know what you know what a Mexican twin is, right? But that's boom, 9 months. You have a brother that's 10 months older than you. That's called a
Yeah.
Mexican twin. And for some reason in wrestling, you get yourself a twin. That's an automatic
Partner
like
for life. Yeah.
partner for life. I think it's really a cheat code for wrestlers because you see it all
Yeah.
the time. We were just talking about the Thomas twins. Who else? Who else were twins that were successful in California? I feel like there's a few that were pretty good.
Uh,
You had the
I know that there's like the set of brothers that were like pretty good, like the Savages were pretty good.
the
Uh,
Wicks.
the Wigs, like the
Yeah.
Cody, Colt Doyle were pretty good. I think they won
Yeah,
state.
yeah. And then you had the heavyweights from Clovis. They had what, nine?
Neville, yeah,
The Nevils.
the Neville.
Yeah,
Levels, yeah.
that was a crazy. That mom should just she should they should put her out to pasture. She should charge $1 million. That woman is a stud. The Wicks. Oh, Shanae, I said the Wicks.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Anyone else before we end your
I got
you're hired?
I got something. I'm gonna stick with wrestling. And we were just talking about the U20 team, and I'm gonna hire the U20 team. I mean, one of the best performances that we've seen in a very long time. 5 guys come back with gold medals. There were 6 finalists. I think there was only 2 guys with D Lockett and Anthony Knox that didn't come back with medals. But I want to give a shout out to Jaden Cox, Scott Green, and BJ Futrell. Those are the coaches of that team. On top of it, there was a number of, everybody has their private coaches these days as well, but those guys were the U20 Team USA coaches, and they did a phenomenal job. Jaden Cox, I think it was put out where he has been undefeated at world championships since taking the job. I think he's like 4-0, I think, at U17s, and then at U20s over these last 2 years, they've won both titles. So shout out to him. He's doing a phenomenal job. He looks incredibly huge these days now that he's not wrestling. But yeah, like those guys did a really good job. So shout out to them.
Hell yes. Zach Carrera brings up a good. I'm gonna. You know what? I wasn't gonna fire this, but I watched. If anyone missed it on Saturday night, you had Duplessis versus Cosmot, right? And this is exactly how I thought it would go. And I might have a little bit different twist on this thing. I'm a huge fan of Dana White. I think he does a tremendous job with promotion and the UFC and everything he does. I buy into because I think he's a really smart guy. Does anyone feel like me and feel like Cosmot? I didn't love the fight. He is a world-class wrestler, and he was so dominant that it almost upset me. Like that wasn't an entertaining fight for me. Now, I know his job is to win, right? And Duplessis a champion. I almost didn't expect him. No matter what, you bring a Division I wrestler in your camp for 3 months. It's not, these guys in Dagestan have been wrestling even before Zahid has been wrestling, and we're going to get into that soon. We all know what Masvidal said. He's like, send your boy to Dagestan 2-3 years, forget about him, come back a man. does anyone feel like me and feel like I don't know what it was? It left a bad taste in my mouth, or does Duplessis just need to be a better wrestler? Because Zach is saying that Jacob is a better wrestler than.
Yeah, no, I think Duplessis needs to be a better wrestler. That was
Yeah.
just a horrible defense. I've never seen anything that bad. It's like you gotta like, and then okay, one thing is get taken down, and then another thing is getting caught in the same move about 5 times. Are you kidding me? How many times are you gonna get crucifixed?
That was embarrassing. The crucifix was embarrassing. I remember a certain wrestler out of Monster Garage that we will get into, where Zahid is out of. Cato Levis getting guys in the crucifix on he used to do it all the time. The crucifix. It's the second worst move other than getting spladled, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the second most embarrassing move other than getting spladled. The crucifix is just like total domination. So yeah, no, good point, Zach, on that. Let me end on a positive note, and I want to hire a Little League World Series. I've been watching it. It's been incredible to see. I don't know what it is, man. It's just is it the innocence? Is it these guys? Japan just lost to Aruba. You're talking about Japan and Aruba. The difference in population is huge, and you see the kids from Japan crying. I'm crying. I don't know why every year I don't plan on watching it. It's the only thing on, it seems, and I get stuck, and it's captivating every time. So shout out to ESPN, which I don't give many shout outs to, and the Little League World Series. And these kids, what I've noticed, because before every game, they ask you, what's your favorite subject, favorite actor, what's your favorite baseball player? And a lot of them had some old school baseball players, like Ken Griffey Jr., a couple of them said, like, Ozzie Smith. Like, that was pretty cool. Like, I don't know if your dad told you to write that down, but for sure you didn't see, one of them said Bo Jackson. I just thought it was pretty cool because when you think this younger generation doesn't follow the history of their sport, I thought it was really cool. So I wanted to give a shout out to Little League Baseball World Series. What up, Tricksters? How you doing, man? So that is You're Fired, You're Hired, brought to you by Nomadic. Live life on the move, man. So that being said, Zahid, you're an Eagles fan. You're a proud Eagles. Go fly, whatever. Eagles fly, Eagles. Yeah. Talking about living life on the move, can you give us a country count on how many countries that wrestling has taken? Do you know how many places that you've been all over the world?
21 different countries so far. So
I've
been very blessed. Yeah, it's been awesome.
And you've been making world teams since what, like 15, 16?
Since I think my first world team was senior year of high school. Made my first junior team, and then I've been on a national team for the past 10 plus years now.
Yeah. So. That's pretty cool, man, to be able I don't know how much time do you guys get? Do you got any time at all to explore the places?
Yeah. I try to make the most out of every trip. I remember when I first started going out, when I was in high school, I'm just like, oh, well, I can't do anything. I'm going to stay in the room, rest my legs, not do anything, just be wrestling. But after the first few trips, I'm like, well, why am I doing this? Like, I'm going to explore. I'm going to take the culture in, the food and everything. If I'm here, I might as well enjoy my time. It's not going to, just because I walk around a little bit doesn't mean I'm going to go end up losing, so I kind of just think about it that way. So I've been able to see a lot of different places.
That's pretty freaking cool. Ryan, I know you've been covering wrestling. Have you gotten the chance to go to some cool places and cover wrestling?
Yeah. The first place I ever went to Cadet Worlds, which was in Tbilisi, Georgia. That was that like 2016 or 2015, I think. And then I covered Urigan in Krasnoyarsk in Russia, in Siberia. So we were that was pretty crazy to be there for like what? And like you're in these countries for a long time. Like Zahid said, like they're there training. So Team USA, and for us as journalists, you're part of the delegation. So like you're protected, like you're part of essentially like the government. So like the wrestlers are protected. We're part of Team USA when we go on those trips. So you're there sometimes just as long as the wrestlers are, but Zahid said they have to go to acclimation camp. So the year we went to Youre, we were there, I want to say like 2-3 days before the tournament started, but it takes you like a day and a half to get there. So you lose a lot of time. It's really crazy to like travel that far. And then you're in Russia for like 10 days. And, it was just super different. Right. And, we had a chance to do the Russian banya. So we went and jumped in the Yensa River, which is like frozen. Yeah. And then went and got in the sauna, and like, it's just such a different culture, man. But it was really cool. Those are the two places, the two times I've had to leave the country to cover wrestling. And when we went to Youre, Tamara Mensah was the first U.S. wrestler to win Youre, I think back to back. So that was a really good year that we got a chance to go.
Zahid, have you wrestled in Youre before?
Yeah, I've been there one time a few years back. Came back with a bronze. That's a tough tournament. A lot of Russians, a lot of good countries wrestling there competing. I want to go back.
Let me ask you, because what I've been told about the Youre, and people don't know, it's a wrestling tournament in Russia.
It's the toughest wrestling tournament in the world.
So I was going to ask Zahid, would you agree that it is the toughest? We're talking Olympics, World Championship. Is it the toughest wrestling tournament in the world?
Well, I haven't been to the Olympics yet, so I can't comment on that. But it's tough because I do think the depth in the Youre, because the depth in Russia is so deep that you're gonna have the number 1, 2, 3 guy could all be top 3 in the world, top 5 in the world. So you're gonna go see all of them. So I think it's tough in that sense. But it's the Youre, it's a tournament you do in season, doesn't really mean as much. Like World Championships is just, there's so much pressure. So in that sense, I think it's tougher. But I do think competition-wise, I think you could have a lot more guys that are tougher at the Youre.
At the Youre, do you see the Mongolians? Do you see the Japanese? Are they all there? The Iranians?
I don't think Japan was there when I went, but you have the Kazakhstanians, the Azerbaijans. You got all those countries right there that are just super tough.
I talked to Coleman Scott once, and he had went, and I don't know if you know this, but everyone trains. They all train together. But he called it, there's a certain room that if you were a world medalist or Olympic medalist, you get to train in, like, it was sort of like the penthouse, and you get to go to that room. And Coleman had told me that this was the toughest room he had ever been there. Because everyone goes, and you're going with silver medalist, world champion, gold medalist, Olympics, bronze Olympics here. Everyone there is the elite of the elite. And obviously I think Coleman was telling me the truth, but that's when he told me that, I was like, man, that sounds like the coolest wrestling room of all, practice of all time.
Oh, for sure.
That's pretty freaking cool. So, guys,
Butterfly Brown on Instagram said the Russians are tough, like the guy on Rocky.
Oh, come on, man. Rocky ended up beating his ass. Are you kidding me? He ain't that tough.
Russian wrestling culture it was pretty dope to like be there and see that though too. Like they being able to like see their practices was pretty insane, because like where the team was training, and that's the thing is like Russia and USA wrestling, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, but like there's a good amount of respect. Because like we're so good and we're so close to each other. So like you saw the respect that the Russian team had for Team USA, and like made sure that they had a room to train in and that they had literally everything that they needed. And like, but you also saw in this, like it was like a huge like barn, like a campus type thing where they were training. But like you also saw like the little kids and like the structure that they have for like the little kids in like Greco and freestyle, and like kids weren't crossing over. Like, we'll go to Fargo and you'll see the same kid in the Greco finals that you might see in the freestyle finals. But like there, you only saw kids that were wrestling freestyle doing freestyle, or you only saw kids doing Greco that were doing Greco. And it
Yeah.
was just like super specialized, but it was like so eye-opening to see how they trained and how they went about all of these things. And just like, you know, it was like a peek behind the curtain, but it was just like super dope to be there and you know, not just see like our guys train and how they prepared for the, you know, one of the toughest wrestling tournaments in the world, but also how the Russians trained and everything else. Cause like Zahid said, like the number 2 guy, like the guy behind Sidikov at 74 is still world caliber.
Yeah.
So it was just like insane and just like super intense practices just to see how well these guys trained and how good they were and how they like pushed each other and just like went so hard.
So someone sent me something today, and I'm going to try to show you on the camera. But someone sent me the top 4 pound for pound MMA fighters in the world all have roots along the Caucasus Mountains, and it's all the championships. And I don't know if you guys could see that.
Oh yeah.
But it really, you know, all right near Dagestan, all pound for pound. Is it a secret? Is it what's going on over there? That first of all, we all know that these guys, their foundation is wrestling, right? And wrestling is the number 1 foundation for MMA. What do you think it is, Zahid? What is it? Just the toughness? What's the secret sauce that is making these guys in this area within 500 miles the best in the world? Is we have a bad connection with Zahid. Maybe we might have to reboot Zahid or something. We have a little bit of a bad connection. But is anyone else getting this? Is it
No, I can't hear him right now.
okay? Yeah, Zahid, we're having a problem with your Wi-Fi, man. Not only is Oklahoma hot and muggy, but the Wi-Fi sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any opinions on that?
I mean, like I said, like when it's all system based, right? Like we talk about the US system and how we have like a very structured system with, you know, with folk style. It's the same way for other countries with freestyle. We're the only country obviously that has folk style. And, you know, people that don't think that folk style can help your freestyle. I mean, it's a baseline, right? It's literally the first line of wrestling that all of us are learning for the most part because of the structure that we have. In other countries, it's freestyle wrestling and they just have a structure of how they go about things. And I think that's really what it is just like how each one of these guys train from a very young age and what they're introduced to, you know. And you know, there's all kinds of conversations here in the States of like, what if we were all freestyle? Would we be better on the world stage? I mean, we're already pretty damn good, but like, would we be better on the world stage if like the NCAA tournament or high school tournament, if everything was freestyle all the time? So it's a good discussion to have. I don't really know which side of the line I fall on. I kind of feel like if you train something fully, then you obviously will be better at it. But I still wouldn't want to give up like the folk style structure that we have, I guess. So, but I think that that's what it is in other countries as well. Like other countries just have that kind of structure, and it's like I said, seeing it firsthand with how they had a structure when we were at the Uregan, it's like that probably tenfold when you look at how things are in Dagestan.
Yeah, and it sucks because I know Zahid has been to the area. Zahid, I think, trained there. Wore the white sheep cap that they wear. Eddie Money, is he gonna try to jump back on? Is he trying?
Yeah, he'll be joining right now.
Okay. Yeah. I know Rick Flores has a question about that, traveling all over the world. What have you seen? I know Zahid has trained in Cuba. He's been to Dagestan. You've been to places like that, and the crazy thing is that Zahid is back with us. I know Zahid, we're talking about Rick Flores had a question for both you guys. Traveling all over the world, have you traveled anywhere where you felt the wrestling was at another level?
Wait, one more time.
The question was, traveling all over the world, have you ever traveled anywhere where you felt the wrestling was at another level? And I said that because I know you've been in Cuba. I know you've worn the Dagestan, whatever that hat is called. You've basically seen it all. Were you ever like, this is really different?
I think, I mean, USA, we train tough out here, man. We go hard and everything, and yeah, there's high level wrestling in Russia, and I've seen them train and stuff, and it's good, and they're more just on the mat wrestling, but I just don't really think it's a whole nother level. Like, we're right there, and we're one of the best in the country as well, and we've shown it. You know, in 2023 when I was part of the team, we won it as a team.
Yeah.
So I just don't think it's like anything super extraordinary. I mean, they're just good because that's the only thing. Before I got cut off or whatever happened, I was saying it's like that's all they do. There's no football, there's no soccer, there's no like anything in Russia. Like when I was in Dagestan, the only thing they know is wrestling, and they love it, and they're just out there to do it.
Like you could say Yazdani, one of my sons and my favorite wrestlers. Would you say he is the Michael Jordan of Iran? Like I've heard that's the truth, but is wrestling that big? Is that a fair statement? I know Yazdani is beloved, but is he that big?
I think so. I think that they valued wrestling so much more in Iran and like even like in Russia and other countries. Like Jordan Burroughs is beloved by like the whole country of Iran.
It's
So
crazy.
they love wrestling so much. Like that's probably half his followers in on Instagram. Just Iran. Crazy.
That's so awesome, man. It's so awesome.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would say that I've ever seen is on like another level. I wouldn't say that the like you know, I've been to Worlds, right? When Worlds was in Vegas, you know, the first time Kyle Snyder won his title, I was there in Vegas, and Jordan Burroughs, I think, won his third at that point. You realize you know, when you go from the NCAA to freestyle wrestling on the world level, yeah, like there are levels to it, but I think the thing that kind of hits you a little bit harder is like the culture of wrestling is on another level in certain places.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned Yazdani, you know, Yazdani or like Sajalive, like when Yazdani won that Olympic gold and he came back to like his town being like shut down and everybody there to like welcome him in. And you know what I mean? Like they get like cars, and you know, we you know, we're now like Zahid thankfully can be a wrestler and not have to worry about working a part-time job while he's wrestling. So like there is an infrastructure around it. But for the longest time, like guys like that and, you know, guys like Zahid in our country didn't have that. But like other countries, they're getting tons of money. They're getting apartments. They're getting cars. You know, Sajalive is getting, I think the one time he won Worlds, they gave him like land and like oxygen. Like they just like throw stuff at these other guys. So, you know, for us, we look at NFL players as, and like NBA players as like our biggest celebrities. In these other countries, Yazdani and Sajalive, like those guys are like big time when it comes to winning world and Olympic medals. That is like the cream of the crop. Is like there's no one else in the world better than you.
Yeah.
I love it, man. So, you know, I want to start from the beginning, Zahid. For you know, if anyone just joined us, we have Zahid Valencia, 86 kilo world team member, going to be wrestling in the world championships in Zagreb, Croatia, the September 13th. So please support, go watch it. But I want to start from the beginning, Zahid. I've known you for a little while, but you have such an incredible story. You know, Pico Rivera, right down the street from me. But, you know, brothers, sisters, when did you start wrestling? Give us the beginning of how it all started.
I started when I was 2 years old. My dad he knew he wanted wrestlers. He wanted twins. He got, as you said, the Mexican twins, 363 days apart. And so I guess when we started, we really didn't have a choice. It's like we're wrestling, we played some t-ball, and then after I turned 3. Anthony was 4. Anthony was able to wrestle in tournaments because once you're 4, you're allowed to wrestle. So I wasn't allowed to wrestle yet. But my dad could see that I was upset, so he forged my birth certificate to say I was 4 years old. So as at 3 years old, I started entering tournaments that season. That first season, I went 1-18. Only won 1 match, and I think Anthony won like 4 matches and lost like 20, 22 of them. So that's kind of what my dad decided is like, oh, well, I got to get these guys good or they're not going to like it. So ever since then, it was like, saw Mike Timmons, this Russian coach that we met, and we just started going just gun ho, like, hey, we're going to be the best in the world at 3 and 4 years old, or at 4 or 5 years old. So we just started doing it, and then we got so good that me and Anthony just ended up loving it. We loved getting our hand raised and loved traveling and going to Reno and Circus and Tulsa Nationals and all these places that wrestling took us. So it was that's kind of just how we started. And then my dad started Monster Garage, and he just ended up getting the best people in our area. Then it went to the state, and then to the point where we started bringing down everyone from around the country to come train and stuff. So I think that's just how we got so good.
Just for the record, Ryan, I moved probably 30 something miles from Santa Clarita to Downey, so my sons could train with Ruben and Zahid and Anthony. Wrestling dads, I think everyone would agree on this podcast, they're a little bit different. We all know youth sports dads are crazy. Wrestling dads take it to another level. And I'm scrolling through Fargo. I'm scrolling through, Iowa Nationals, and I'm seeing, or Reno Monster Garage, Pico Rivera. I'm seeing these kids, Aaron Pico, Kata Levis, Joseph Dominguez. That there's just a ton more. And they're all coming out of this one garage. Well, I didn't know it was actually a garage. I thought it was just called Monster Garage. I was like, what a cool name. I bet it's a 2,000 square foot facility with the most high-tech equipment. Little did I know it was a garage in Pico Rivera.
Yeah.
So yeah, we made the move. We made the move down to Monster Garage. My question to you, Zahid, is a lot of people don't know this about your dad. I've walked around tournaments with your dad. He's sort of like a A-list celebrity in the wrestling world. You walk around, everyone's saying hello. I'll be like, Ruben, he's like, I'll be honest, Eddie, I don't know who that guy is. But they talk to him like they know him.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But a lot of people don't know that your dad never rocked a singlet but when I chose to move to Monster Garage and move to Downey so they could train, I had like Division I coaches or wrestlers that were coaching my sons. Like, why would you go down there? Did you know that Ruben Valencia has never wrestled? I'm like, no, and neither do I care. All I know is that the best wrestlers in California are coming out of Pico Rivera.
Yeah.
Show me your guys, and I'll stay with you. I will go where the best guys are being made. And how do you explain your dad's success not ever actually having a live wrestling match?
He's the man. He's the man. He even like I remember seeing him like even when we were really young. Just he would stay up till 2, 3, 4 a.m. just watching video. The amount of video that he had me and Anthony watch, it wasn't always the most fun. Watching like the co-lot videos and just hours and hours, and sometimes they could get brutal. Just that repetition of watching those videos. But he did that and learned it to a point where he could teach us, and he was just very good at it. So okay, no, and he had like a good mind for it. So and that's just the wrestling side. Then he knew how to make you tough. You wanna get strong, I'll get you strong. You wanna be the best condition in the world, he'll get you there. It's not gonna be pretty, but he knows how to bring the best out of you. And I just think that's why people are so successful and people want to train with him. And people thought after, oh, his sons are done, it's going to be kind of over. He just kept producing champions.
Yeah.
That's all.
I can attest to that, Ryan. Sonny and Jacob, they had done well in California youth state. Sonny was a state champion. And, when I did finally take him over to Ruben invests in these young men so crazy. He took Sonny out to a lunch. Sonny came back with a journal. Ruben had bought him a journal, and they went over goals and said, Sonny, you should want to be the best in the country. And Sonny put it on an index card, taped it to the top of the ceiling, and make a long story short, my goal was Sonny to wrestle at anywhere in college. Sonny eventually won Who's Number One and completed that goal. Not only, I don't want to make this about Ruben Valencia, but not only did he get Sonny tougher, but it's a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing what he does. Another quick story about Richie Figueroa. If you're in the wrestling world, you know who Richie Figueroa is. National champ now at Oklahoma, where Zahid is. But Richie had won, I think, freshman state, and he was doing an interview. Ruben was passing by, and Richie was telling the guy, I just want to be a 4-time California state champion. Ruben waited till the interview was over, pulled him aside, and had a talk with him. He's like, son, you should want way more than being a 4-time California. You should want to be a world champion. And immediately started, training at Selma and going to Ruben. And Richie has done some incredible things. So, just a quick story about that. We've all seen Zahid. We've all seen the crazy roller tournaments. If you don't know what a roller tournament is, it's like it's called the Trinity Award. He has 3 tournaments for youth, and it's the best of the best of the best. One is Reno Worlds, and then the other one is Tulsa Nationals, and then the Tulsa Kickoff, right?
Yeah.
And it's where the best youth wrestlers in the entire country flock to. Unless you're like Jason Nolf in Pennsylvania, where you don't go to certain things like that. There's very few guys that weren't on the major stage like that. The reason I'm asking Zahid is like, you've seen the most crazy roller podium pictures, where you'll have Isaiah Martinez and just like all Americans all up and down. Do you have one of those? Do you have some crazy roller podium?
Yeah, I have a few. But there's a lot of them too that were just savages as youth wrestlers that didn't even really out much. But there's like guys like I remember Anthony's bracket, John Wayne Townsend, like Keegan Wakefield, guys that you don't really hear. I know guys, I think some of my toughest ones or well-known guys when I was competing was Javon Perkins and Gary Wayne Harding. Like
Gary Wayne.
They were studs. That's like my dad's like, hey, when you go up next year a division, like these are the guys you're gonna wrestle. And I remember watching them and they were just so good. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna have to beat next year. So guys like that. I've had like Brandon Sorensen in my weight class, Bryce Brill, Dominic Malone. There's been a few savages in there. I think Joey McKenna's been in my weight. I wrestled him at Tulsa Nationals, I think, 1 year for 3rd. So yeah, just a lot of tough guys like to start early and.
You think there's a bunch of dudes telling their girlfriends up out on the couch watching Worlds like, I beat Zahid Valencia at fucking Tulsa Nationals, telling his girlfriend like I kicked his ass.
Probably not the part that they beat me. Probably I wrestled that kid. I don't know about beat him.
Oh, they might as well say they beat you. Their girlfriends are never gonna go and
never know.
I'll never go there.
I would do it. I would totally be like, oh, see that guy? Yeah, but then I had a bad knee injury. Yeah, I could never. But yeah, honey, that would be me. I would have been in
I
Zagreb.
world champ, yeah.
100%, man. That's so cool. Shout out to Ruben Valencia and Monster Garage. He's still doing it, by the way. He is still doing it on half a leg. It's freaking crazy. The dedication that he has to these kids and the dedication that he has to making the best in the country and the best in the world is second to none. And that's why you should also move to Downey or Pico Rivera and send your kid to Ruben Valencia. And you could be going to Zagreb, Croatia.
100.
Yeah. So let's move on. You go to the best high school in the country, St. John Bosco. Modern day might be okay in football, but we're right there as well. Right there as well. And you go there, you change the culture. Your dad changes the whole entire culture of St. John Bosco. It's now an elite program, one of the best in the country. You win, and your brother wins freshman year. You win at 106 pounds. How was that transition? Because I don't know how well you did in high school. I don't know if you just kicked everyone's ass through California State.
and nationally too. I was there.
But my question is like who? Because you skip weights, but who would you say was your nemesis in high school wrestling? And I know Ryan could pull out a few, but who was that guy?
It's funny because I don't think necessarily. I think my rival wasn't someone I wrestled. I think it was Anthony, Pico, Olivas. Those are my rivals in high school.
Wow, that is cool.
All wanted to see, who's gonna get more pins, who's gonna get more wins, who's gonna just do better overall. Like I scored more points than you. So I would say they were my biggest rivals in high school. Just trying to outdo them in every tournament. I'm gonna get OW this tournament. Just battling that way. I don't think it was anything like any other team or any other wrestler that specifically had like a big rival with me.
Yeah, that's such a great answer, man. And we all know the legendary Aaron Pico and his work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen anyone work as hard as Aaron Pico in training? Is it all true? You were there every day for years and years and years. I mean, did you get even from your father, like, why can't you work like Aaron Pico? Was that a thing?
He's a madman, but those are the things that made me mad. I'm just like, dude, okay, he works hard, but I'm working hard too, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
But no, he's a sicko. He goes and he'll train till a lung pops, So he's always been like that. Just a madman. So it was a lot of fun to be able to train with him and get the most out of everyone.
Ryan,
I had a quick question about Aaron Pico. I know he just did his UFC debut, didn't go the way planned. But did you ever think about going that route, going like MMA, UFC? Because I know he just did a freshman year, right? And then started focusing on it right after.
I've thought about going into, doing MMA, going to the UFC, but not necessarily stopping my wrestling. It'd be more so after my wrestling career is done. So I've thought about it, and then who knows? Maybe in the future. I feel like it's a good plan B, but I'm focused on my wrestling and then possibly coaching after. So, but you never know.
Nice. Ryan, you've been there. You were at Flow during all of Zahid's high school. Who's number one? Who are you most excited to see Zahid wrestle in his high school years?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to cover Zahid. I think the first time, I think we obviously met when he was in high school, and I think it was his junior year. So he was still like super small, and then it was kind of in that in between time because then we met at Who's Number One when he wrestled Miles Martin, and that was his first match at what was it like 180 something?
Yeah, 182.
Yeah, 182.
Crazy.
His first match at 182 was Miles Martin, and Zahid was ranked number 2. And everyone thought that like Willie was crazy for ranking Zahid number 2 because he was at 106 and 113 for his entire career. But like people didn't realize Zahid's resume at that point included 3 Ironman titles, which Ironman, I mean, the refereeing is shit, but the rest of the tournament is golden, right? So like Zahid was able to navigate terrible refereeing, but also win 3 titles and was going to, looking to win his 4th. So he deserved that number 2 ranking. And I'm not saying that just because he's sitting here. I'm saying that because I said it back then. So you could literally go back and watch those shows. But like the Miles Martin match was just different for me because one, that was the first time I had seen Zahid wrestle in person. I'd only watched videos of him before then and like old matches and stuff. But for me, it was just like, I don't know how he is handling the growing pains, obviously, because you went from like 5'2" to like 6'8". Like it was the craziest thing. But then also like the 50-pound weight jump that came with it. So like, how's he navigating just getting bigger and, not feeling awkward with these new super long limbs and wrestling in this match? And, I was able to do his pre-match interview and stuff. And I don't remember exactly what you said back then, but like, it was incredible to me to see like that transition. That match, I believe, went into overtime at Who's Number One, but then you guys wrestled again at Ironman final, and you beat him again. What was it like for you back then to make that transition from being such a small wrestler to now being one of the upper weights and being the number 1 upper weight after I think you had won Ironman or at least the state title at like 132 or 126 like the year before?
132. Yeah, so I went 106, 113, 132, 182. And you see people say it's like, oh, I made a 50-pound jump. When I was wrestling 132s, I weighed about 160 over that summer. So I was big. I was a big cutter my first 3 years. Like I feel like the biggest jump I made is when I went 113s, I weighed 135. And then I jumped up from 135 to 160 when I went 32s. And then from junior to senior year, I went from 160 to I weighed about 175. And I was thinking about going 170s, and Anthony was there, and I even told my dad, well, it looks like we're going to have to wrestle a lot. And it was early on in the summer. So I was like, okay, well, my dad's like, well, that's the fair thing to do. You guys are going to wrestle off. And then as it got closer into the start of the season, I'm just like, I cut my whole high school career, and I cut hard, really hard. So I was like, I weigh 175. Anthony's going to go 170s. I said, I'll go 182s. I think I could win there. I was looking at like all the rankings. I was like, I could beat those guys. So I'll go 80. And that's kind of just how it went. So I felt like being a lighter weight helped me wrestling these bigger guys because I kept my speed, like that style of wrestling of being so small for the first few years of my career in high school that I think it just helped me along the way, being a big guy and moving the way I do.
Yeah, your style hasn't changed hardly at all. Like I said, I've been literally watching you since you were 106 pounds, and watching those matches, your style hasn't changed even to now when you're always early on a takedown. You're always trying to attack first. A guy will take a shot, you're dropping to your knees and you're not coming back up until he's back up on his feet. So like all those foundational things you've really kept.
Yeah.
How have you kept all of those things in your arsenal as the competition has gotten better? Because you just beat Kyle Dake, who's, a multiple-time world and Olympic medalist and world champion. How have you kept all those things in your arsenal, but continue to kind of up your attacks and up your defense, but still keep that foundation?
Yeah, I think I'm just evolving in every position. Now it's like I have the same mechanics where I go on my knees, but I feel like I could score on you from anywhere. Like I could hit my single leg, I could hit my high C, I could fake, I could snap, go behind. I have a good front headlock, I have a good ankle pick. Like I just feel that as long as I could score on both sides of the body, there's always going to be a chance for me. So I think that's how I've been able to keep up with these people that just want to go just lock down defense. And I've had to face so much of that in my career because of the high pressure. And in college, it's like, okay, just collect his wrists. They're gonna hold on to my wrist, so then I have a duck from the wrist. I've had to evolve that, and just stuff like that. That it's like underhooks. So many Iranians, all these guys want to get an underhook on me so that they could stop me and slow me down. So I feel like I'm really good at the overhook now. People get an underhook right here. I feel comfortable to lean out. I could shoot from there and stuff, and just adapting to what they give me and evolving from there. I think you could always learn and always get better in wrestling. That's why I love it.
How much have you learned since going to Oklahoma State? Like, you spent years in Arizona with Zeke Jones. Now you're with David Taylor. How much have things changed for preparation wise? And specifically, obviously David Taylor knows Kyle Dake better than probably anyone. How big was it to have that kind of person in your ear and in your corner going into not just the first match with Dake, but obviously the second one where he already had a good feel for your style?
Yeah, no, it's big having him there. Obviously, he knows them. Like, even after beating him that first match at Final X, the second one, like, he's like, all right, he's gonna come after you this one, and he's gonna do this, and he's gonna try to get you off the rip. And I felt that, and he knew, and so kind of just being prepared for that, I think helped me. But I don't think there's like winning's winning in all levels. Like, if you're winning in youth, like, that's the thing I don't get. If you're winning, people try to like change things. Like, oh, we're gonna start powerlifting, or we're gonna start doing this. It's like, just stick to what's working. And if anything really changes, it's like you got to grow with it and learn and adapt in your styles. But it's the moves are all the same. Like, throughout it's more mental that I've been helped with at Okie State, and some tactics of like, okay, learning a few moves like in my front headlock position or the out of bounds, working that, and just like little tactics that I could use throughout the match, I think has been the biggest gain for me.
I have a question, Zahid.
Yeah.
You've adopted this saying. It's sort of evolved to scared money don't make money.
Mm-hmm.
And you've said that for a while. And I had a theory, like, everyone knows, like, you're gonna take 36 shots, like, and I've heard you say this before. It's like your single leg defense and your defense is so good that you're not worried about getting reattacked because your defense is so good. So it puts you in an attack mode. Is scared money don't make money? How have you translated that into wrestling? Because that's how I see it. I'm not sure if that's what you mean by it. Is that what you mean by it?
It's like you drill all these moves and you work on all these moves, and these guys do everything. It's like, and they go out and then they hit the same move every time, or they don't want to shoot because they're scared. It's like, just go out there and do everything that you've been working on. And what's the point of drilling and practicing if you're not going to use them? And then on top of that, there's these fans that came miles and like from all over the country to go watch you, like especially like at nationals. Like, why don't you want to give them something to cheer for? And they like seeing points. Why are you gonna go get a 1-0 match and then you just ride a guy and you have 6 minutes of riding time? I think that's boring. That's why I hate folk style wrestling. But I want to make it fun, and I want to go out there, score as many points. I want to give something the fans to cheer for, and I think that's just kind of what I embody when I say scared money don't make money. Go let it fly, and you'll find out if everything that you did in the wrestling room, all your practices, is good enough. And if it's not, then you go back and do something different. Like, I just keep it as simple as that.
I love it, man. I love it. To piggyback on Ryan's question about going to the Cowboy RTC, what do you think David Taylor has influenced you the most? Is it technique? Is it mindset? Is it lifestyle? Why'd you make the change, and what has been the biggest difference? Because I think everyone knows that you were probably the most talented. Was the change of scenery good for you? And what has David Taylor specifically done?
there was a lot of reasons for my move. You know, I think I've been candid about this. You know, I love Arizona. You know, that's my home. I put roots down, and I didn't want to leave, but I just felt something pushing me. You know, I think God set so many things in place to where I had to open my eyes. I think I was stubborn to the fact it's like I want to live here. I want to live in AZ because I love it here because but you know, losing the Olympic trials, losing the world trials, and you know, going through the hard breakup. There's like a lot of things coming together, and eventually I had to like one of my buddies called me, and he was kind of going through the same thing, and he's like thinking about leaving his place. So it made me like think about where I was at, and thought about this definition that of insanity. You know, you do the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. And you know, I couldn't stay there anymore. I didn't have the partners, and I was kind of honestly falling out of love of the sport. Like everything was so routine that I was just going to practice and doing this. There's no one to really push me, and no one that was gonna travel with me that's like in the same position now. You know, Cowboy RTC, I have Wyatt Hendrickson, I have, you know, Jax Forrest on the team, and even like Roman Bravo is wrestling for Mexico, and you have all these guys. You know, Mirza is gonna wrestle for Uzbekistan. I got Joey, you know, wrestling with me the Final X, and he goes to all these. So it's like I fell back in love with the sport. I'm excited to go to practice. I'm excited to continue learning and getting better. So I think it's not necessarily like one, like, oh, he's helped me in my technique or my mental game. I think it's just everything together, and just the move kind of like ignited a fire in me and just wanting to level up for sure.
Ryan, you got a follow up to that?
Yeah, I do, right? Because you talk about kind of falling out of love with the sport a little bit and knowing that you needed to change something. But I know, you know, David has talked about recruiting you and talking to you, I believe, after you guys wrestled that one time. What was that conversation like with David, and how long did it take you to say, yes, this is the right move for me to head to Oklahoma State?
Yeah, it was honestly so fast. Like I didn't come visit, I didn't come check it out, see if it was the right place. So after I was saying like my buddy was gonna move, and I'm just sitting out there like at the park talking to him, watching watching my brother's dog, and then that's when I was like, you know what, I told my buddy I'm gonna call my dad tonight. I see what he's feeling and stuff, and like he's involved, and I like picking his brain on what he thinks. So I called him that night, and he was like, hey, I think I have to make a move. He's like, what are you thinking? I was like, probably Oklahoma State. Like that's honestly the best place for me. And you got David there, and he's just, I love it. Call him. You're gonna call him tonight? It's a little late. You know what? Call him tomorrow. You're gonna call him tomorrow. So he was pumped. Yeah. He was pumped, and I was like, okay, well, I guess this is happening. So I call him the next day, and you know, he seemed excited. I think he had to talk to like the board and get everything situated. But as soon as he called me back the day after, and he's like, yeah, we'd love to have you. And I think within 10 days from that conversation, I was packed up my stuff and moved out. It was so fast. It was crazy, but didn't look back. I think that was the best way to do it. Because I remember driving up with my mom, and it was pouring rain and everything flat. Like I'm used to the mountains, the red mountain. There's so much to do. City life. I go on my hikes and everything. I'm here, and I'm just started kind of crying, started bawling to my mom. Like, what did I do?
Turn around! Turn this car around!
What did I do? Like, there was nothing to see here. And my mom, just a sweetheart, she goes, it's beautiful. Like, it's beautiful. And I'm just like, you're lying to me.
There ain't much in Stillwater, man. There ain't much out there.
Honestly, I think it's the best decision. I don't regret it. It's like I mean, look at me now, world team member. I wouldn't take it for anything. And I told myself, it's like I'm moving. It's like I'm moving with a purpose. Like I'm not gonna why did I come all the way over here to a place I necessarily didn't want to live in? You know, I made a sacrifice coming out here. So by me making the sacrifice, there's no freaking way I'm gonna lose. Like, I'm gonna make sure to do everything I could to win. Like, make the sacrifice worth it, and it's been working so far, and I'm not gonna stop now.
Yeah. You talked about the fans, right? And you said something about why come all the way out here, why practice moves that you do if you're not actually gonna, put the work in on the mat so that the fans have something to cheer for.
Yeah.
Internationally, the fans get pretty wild, and there's vuvuzelas and there's a bunch of music playing and there's chanting and there's so much. Yeah, like it is. Yeah, it is. It is not like anything else. Like it is not like anything else. But the fans are so passionate for wrestling. International fans are so passionate. And you shared one of the DMs. I think it was earlier today or this week, from somebody talking about you beating Gazimpur, right? And it's just like so much passion. What's that like for you to, one, get DMs like that are obviously in a different language, you have to translate, but then two, do you respond to these guys or do you just kind of let it go?
I don't really respond. It's like if they comment on my stuff, and you know what's funny, the things I like are the people that talk shit, and like that caption, the thing that I posted today, he said that Gazimpur will tear me a new one or whatever that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I love it. I love that stuff. Like, that's the stuff I remember, not the, hey, you're doing so good, good job, you're looking so good, go kick ass, go win it. Yeah, okay. But the people is like, he's gonna rip you apart. You're not ready. He will break you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sounds a little bit like
yeah.
Sounds a little bit like Michael Jordan, and that's when I took it personal.
Yeah.
That's what the champions do. They don't remember the pats on the back. They remember the people that don't believe in them or talking shit. I love it.
Yeah, and I remember I have a bookmark. So it's like you'll know.
Yeah. How much do you pay attention to those guys? Like just the wrestlers though, right? We talk about the fans. The fans are always going to chirp and everything else. And especially at those world tournaments, the fans you're right next to the fans. Like that happens all the time. Like you walk out of the stadium and the fans are right there. You're in the same hotels, you're all around all of them. But like from a preparation standpoint, looking at 86 kilos, you have the, returning Olympic champion, Ramazanov is there. And then Gazimpur obviously is another guy that was up in another weight class. And, now he's back down to 86. He's wrestled as high as 97. Like these guys are very seasoned. There's a lot of world titles that they have on their resume. How much are you watching film or are you focusing more on yourself?
Yeah, I don't care what they've done. I know, and like, you call it cocky or the arrogant, but I just do believe like I'm the baddest motherfucker on the planet, and and like I do, and it's like that's what I'm gonna train like that. I'm gonna go out there, and it's like in my head, I'm just like, okay, like why should they beat me? Like they bleed the same blood as me. Like I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna hit my single leg, and when I get my hands locked, there should be no reason for him to stop me. I'm just gonna go and pick it up, and I'm gonna finish, and that's just kind of my mindset. But now, obviously, like you gotta have a little bit of video. Like I don't like watching much. The type of video I watch is like on myself. Like okay, let's say after the U.S. Open, I got done, I won it. A week later, whatever, I'll watch my match from match 1, match 2, all the way to the finals. So that way I could see, I could have done this here, or the guy caught my leg here because I was heavy, kind of critiquing myself and seeing what I could have done. I think if I watch too much video on other guys, like I'm going to wrestle their match. So I just like having my coaches, I'll tell Zoe or David, hey, what did this guy do? And he's like, okay, well, he hits high C's here, he has underhook here, sweep single there. So maybe they'll show me a couple times, and I'll be like, okay, got it. I'm good. I'm going to go wrestle me, but I'll keep that in mind that he does that. That's like pretty much the vastness of video that I watch.
So yeah, I'm sure you, one other question. I know I'm sure you watch the Olympics, right? And, you know, Ramazanov obviously wrestled Aaron Brooks. When you watch that match, you know, Aaron Brooks is a guy that you've wrestled a good bit as well, that you're familiar with, and you've obviously been in the same room with him. When you see matches like that, what are your thoughts that kind of run through your head of like, or as you're watching that, do you feel like I would go here? Or do you see openings in guys as you're watching matches live?
Yeah, I'm watching that. I said I could beat that guy. He sucks.
That's 100% what he's saying. That is not a fucking lie. That is what he is saying. So, Ryan, I'm just going to tell you a quick story because it goes even further than that, because I've been a part of Zahid's culture. Obviously, he's been a part of it much longer because his father has been his father forever. But I remember being at a U.S. Open in Vegas, and I was livid. It's Sonny's, I don't know, cadet. He's young high schooler, and I see the seedings, and I know Sonny and this guy are the best two wrestlers, and I pissed off when I see the brackets, and I run to Ruben Valencia. I'm like, this is wrong. And I'm going to the head desk. How these guys are supposed to know this? And Ruben looks me dead in the face. He's like, don't, Eddie, are you serious? Don't do that. He's like, so you face him in the quarters and not the finals. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I had to shut my mouth. And that's what Zahid has been dealing with. That's his mindset.
Yeah.
Which brings me to this point, Zahid, and I wanted to bring this up, and I don't want to wash your balls, you know, too much, but you know, I've been so impressed, and you have developed a new saying, don't trip, right?
Yeah.
I saw the skateboard. It's sort of like, I don't know if it's your life motto now, but I've just been so impressed with the losses that you had in college and with Aaron Brooks. Some to me, you know, and I've been a fan on your side, that were clearly biased and wrong, but you handled them with such grace, and be like, and you've said it in interviews. Well, I should have never left it to the referee's hands, which I've heard your dad tell me. Sonny should never have left it in, and it's blown me away because, you know, the Aaron Brooks loss was in Penn State and seemed a little unfair. The headgear pull, clearly, you know, to me, incidental. I've been so impressed, because my question, I guess what I'm saying is, you know, wrestlers love or hate to lose more than they love to win, but you haven't lost many times in your life, but you've never been an excuse guy. You've actually been the opposite, and handled it so well. Where does that come from? I'm always astonished by that.
Yeah, I don't think I handled the Olympic trials loss that well. I mean, I did out in public and open and everything, but that one hurt. That one hurt a few days. But just like, even going into my freshman year of college, you know, being undefeated and then losing to Mark Hall in the semis at the national tournament after, you know, having an awesome year, and off a headgear pull, I lose by 1. I just think, like, I know myself, and I know I'm the best in the world. So when I took that loss, I just remind myself that it doesn't define me. Like, I still know I'm a bad mofo. And then in my head, I'm just like, okay, I can't believe you just had the audacity to beat me. Just wait. Just watch. Watch next time. The fact that you thought you could do this, you're done. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to work harder and get back to the drawing board and do what I have to do to go kick your ass next time. And that's kind of just, I know who I am, so these losses don't really affect me as much. I still believe that I'm the best in the way I wrestle, so I don't think anyone could take it away from me. Obviously, the Olympic one was a lot tougher, just because it just happens every 4 years, and it's such a slight chance that you get at that. But even going back to because I wanted to win high school state 4 times in sophomore year, I lost in the semis, and I think that one I kind of just reminded. It's like I remember, hey, Jake Varner, Olympic champ. Uh, he only won 2 state titles, so really did it matter? So I lost. I was like, I'll go win 2 more. So I ended up winning 3 state titles, and I kind of just took it like that. Like I never really got, oh, I suck, I lost. It's like, no, I don't suck. I happen to
Yeah.
lose, but I'm gonna learn from that. I'm gonna get better, and I'm gonna make sure it doesn't happen again. So it's just
So
mentality.
I was there. A lot of people don't know this, and I'm not saying this to make an excuse for you, but because I know this. I remember Lamore, Sean Williams, and you know, people always want to see the top dog lose, and people went crazy. I remember your dad showing me the picture of your ankle. You rolled your ankle. It was blown up, black and blue. I wish we had the picture of it. The fact that you even came out there and wrestled with your ankle the way it did. A lot of people don't know that, and you would never tell people that. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying it. You know, talk about when your dad or you guys sat down with you and Anthony and had the goals, because I know what they were. And how long was that instilled in you?
Yeah, it
Four,
was so like
four-time state. What was it again?
it was our goals were 4 time state champs, 4 time national champs, world champ, Olympic champ. Those are what we set out to reach. And that
Yeah.
was probably like serious where we kind of knew what state was. Like we started going to state tournaments since we were young, so we knew we wanted that. I would say like honestly like 7 8 years old, like we already like 5 6. I honestly like maybe 5 6, like we knew, like just talked about it all the time. Oh yeah, 4 time state champ, 4 time national champ, world Olympic champ. And that's just kind of like what we talked about, and that's what we were working towards. So it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna win youth state or whatever. It was, no, we're gonna go win the Olympics and whatever, 2028 LA.
Yeah, baby. Zach has a question.
Yeah.
Uh, what's your road to make the Olympic team, and when does that start?
It started a while ago,
Yeah.
5 6 years old. You said.
but no, now it's, I mean, with the move, I think this first cycle, I think it's so important because now I'm gonna go and go win gold at Worlds. But the thing is, if you medal at Worlds, then you're automatically in Final X. So this gives me the best chance to go where I medal Final X, best 2 out of 3, go win that medal, and just continue doing that up until 2028 Olympics. Then all I have to worry about is wrestling best 2 out of 3, and go win that spot, and then go win gold at Olympics.
Seems like a simple equation, Zach.
Simple. It's simple. Now you just gotta make sure it happens.
Gotta execute.
Gotta execute for sure.
What do you got, Ryan? I feel like I'm hogging the mic.
No, I mean it's like I said, I've been there kind of every step of the way for Zahid's career, right? So I've seen him win a lot. I've seen him take the losses. I literally was able to watch him practice when he was at Arizona State. We did a visit there and, did an interview there. And, you talked about him and how he takes his losses. And, I think I was one of the first interviews he did after losing it on a headgear pool. And we talked about that during that interview.
I remember
right?
that. I remember that.
And I mean, and the thing is like, I think that's why I respect Zahid as much as I do. And, not for nothing, you've talked about Ruben a ton as well. It's why I have so much respect for them because, I may not have accomplished my goals as an athlete, but I feel like we grew up in very similar environments where we had people that were just like so great and had so much knowledge and pushed us so much. So like every time I've ever had a chance to be in the vicinity with Ruben, I always make sure to go shake his hand because he's always brutally honest with not just with his sons, but even with me. And that's why I always had like that respect for him, because I think I may have like picked against Zahid like one time and Ruben let me know about it. And I was like, I respect that because like the thing is I've had other dads. I had a dad and I don't know if I've ever like told you guys this, but I had a dad that got my number because I did like rankings at one point when I was at Flow, and I didn't have his kid ranked in a spot where he thought he should be ranked. His kid's still in college right now, by the way. And he got my number from this kid's high school coach, and he was texting me his son's accolades and texting me and like going at me, and I didn't know who it was. So it was basically anonymous. And that's why, like, when I see this guy now, I don't have respect for him because like I found out who it was, and I faced him at Ironman that same year. And it's why like I have so much respect for Zahid and respect for Anthony and Ruben, because anytime that anything happened, though, you know, Anthony and Zahid would never say anything about it, nor did they care. But like Ruben will let you know, and it was like, you know, it wasn't a whisper. It was confrontation for the sake of it, but it was conversation, man. And that's why there's always been so much respect. But like Zahid, throughout your career, like your dad has been right there, and he has been your coach in some of the biggest moments. You know, what was it like for you and your brother to transition from high school with having your dad in your corner to then being in college and not having your dad be in your corner all the time? But I'm sure he's sending you text messages and telling you what's happening in between matches that you need to do.
Great question. I wanted to ask that. Thank you.
But it was a change. You know, my dad's the type of guy, like, if you tell him, oh, well, if we're fighting for like a 2 or 3 seed, my dad's like, you know what? Put Zahid at 20. Who cares? Number one guy first. I've had a match where I think I was up like 8-0, and I think I had another takedown, and the other coach was like arguing that wasn't a takedown, blah blah blah. And my dad's like, okay, well, you want to start the match over 0-0? And this is like a pretty big tournament, and he's like, yeah, sure, let's start the match over. So I have to go back at 0-0 and have to beat the guy. But yeah, it was different because, like, obviously my dad's been our coach since youth and high school and everything. But I think he knew, I mean, especially me, that I was ready. Just let me go. Mm-hmm. Let me go. Because at that point, it's like, do you want it or do I want it? Like, you know, and like, he knew. I think Anthony and like and Kale, like, they still kind of like went back home and trained and like messaged him, hey, can you work on this? And I think for those first few years, I was just like, no, like I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this on my own and just get away. And he kind of respected that. You know, obviously now it's different. Like, I'll go and it's like, what do you think? And do, like, I'll ask for some advice and stuff. But I just think, because, you know, it's that fine line where it's like coach and dad, and he's coach dad. Mm-hmm. He did a very good job at that. But I think once I was in college, I was like, I just want dad. And tell me my good jobs or whatever. He did. I mean, not a lot of good jobs. It's like,
yeah.
It's tough to get a compliment from Ruben Valencia, and you know, I couldn't imagine if I was doing more than just talking into a microphone. But you know, like I said, like there's always been like so much respect, and even when I think, you know, both you and Anthony won, I don't remember what it was, but you guys both won, and I had seen your dad at a tournament, and I was like, your guys wrestled good today. And he's like, yeah, they were all right.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he's never over the moon. Like he's you can always improve on everything kind of guy. And that's why I'm like, that's, you know, as much as that sucks, that's also still pretty awesome to know, like, you can win everything and there's still going to be improvement. Now, if you win a world title, you win the Olympics, I hope it'll be a little bit different, but
I don't know, Ryan.
It's still going to be like getting blood on the stone.
Even to this day, like, he doesn't really tell me, like, in person, but like I'll hear from some of my buddies, he's like, yeah, but like even with Dake, he's like, he left points on the board. He could have done this and he could have done that. Like I remember in like middle school and high school, I could win 15-0 and pin the guy. But you got ridden out a little bit. I was like, did you see the time? It was 15 seconds. I know, but you get out in like 5. It's like there's no winning with the guy.
He's
But that's
being kind. His dad said you got rode like a bitch
yeah.
in 15 seconds. He's like that. So this is exactly where I wanted to go with this, and this is exactly why I thought it was important to have this interview. And you can agree with me or not agree with me, Zahid. But Zahid visited about a month ago. He's just the ultimate competitor, Ryan. Many years ago, probably 9-10 years ago, I brought out dominoes. He's never played dominoes before. We played dominoes. He kicks my ass. And he's like, I've never played. I'm like, bullshit. He's like, kicks my ass 3 times in a row. I've been playing dominoes my whole life. He came down a month. We played golf. I'm like, I've been playing so much golf. Kicks my ass in golf. I'm like, what? I had to rent him clubs. He didn't even have his own clubs. Kicks my ass in clubs. I'm like, okay, he's the real deal. But specifically to this moment, I told him, because Ruben was, in my backyard, and we talk all the time, and I'm like, dude, I knew he was going to be Dake, and he should kick. He's like, oh, Eddie, he should. So I made the mistake of telling Zahid, I'm like, what, dude, like, I told him you left points on the table, and Zahid, he got visibly upset. He's like, what, Eddie, what can I do to make everyone happy? He's like, I've never made anyone happy. And my question is this, Zahid. He's like, I don't know if you were labeled a bad guy or if you were the bad guy. I think a lot of it is that your rivals were at Penn State, and Penn State, huge following. And you have been mistreated unfairly in my wife's eyes and my eyes. I don't know if it's because you're so talented and people expect so much. And you would agree with that. You think you're the baddest dude on the planet. I don't know if it's that. I don't know if it was the Penn State thing. All your rivals, came from Penn State. They have the biggest following. But I wanted to bring you on, and I feel like the tide is turning, and you could tell me or not. Is America starting to embrace you as the representative? Because you're Mexican American, Zahid. I still don't know anyone else on this planet named Zahid. Not even in the Middle East. I love it. But what's your take on that? Because
I hope so. I hope so. Just I think if I wore the blue and white singlet, Penn State, I think I'd have a lot more fans having my back. Cause even going to ASU, I thought I do think I have a lot of fans and people rooted for me, but that's because of the way I wrestled.
mm-hmm.
They wanted to root for me, and they wanted to watch my matches because of the way I wrestled. I did that on purpose because I'm coming out of Arizona State. But even after the U.S. Open, it was kind of weird. Like, I won, I took a big guy, and there wasn't a lot of cheers. Like, I heard the initial cheers, but oh my God, Kyle Dake lost and everything.
Yeah.
And even and I'm cool with CP and everything, but his interviews, I'm looking at the match, and if Zahid doesn't get a turn, it's a different match. And if he doesn't do this, well, no shit. If I don't get 2 takedowns, 4 points. If I took him down 5 times, it'd be 10-0. I turned him because this is what I put myself in situations I practiced. I score, takedown to a turn. I found that this is what I do. This is if he didn't get that, well, now we're playing this game now. I just beat this guy that hasn't lost an American in 8 years, and okay, well, we'll see at Final X. Give me my flowers, dude, and then we'll see what happens next time. So, and not that I hate it. Sometimes I like it. I'm just okay, and this is why after I won, I put the crown on me, and I was all right, what's everyone gonna say now? And once again, CP, he's yeah, I thought Zahid just destroyed him, but I rewatched the match, and it's right there. And so I think for 2028 is a good chance. I'm just Dake has lost to 3 Americans in the past month in. After 8 years, he's lost to 3 Americans. Me, myself, and I. Like, what more do you want? I just beat this dude three times in a row, and okay, we'll see next time. It's like, okay, but it just adds fuel to the fire, and it's like I'm not gonna let it happen. Hopefully after World Championships, America gives me my flowers, and they're happy to see me as their guy, as their
representative.
Like the David Taylors, the Dakes, the Burrows, that it's like, okay, now I want Zahid to be the 2026 representative, 2027, and I want him to represent. Like, I want to be that guy. And I think actually moving to Okie State now, more wrestlers out there, and having that fan base is really gonna push that for sure.
I'll let you take this, Ryan, because I'm sure you guys.
I mean, I've been part of those conversations where I've seen. I call out my biases all the time, right? And that's like one of the things that we do on our show on the Quad Pod is, like, if we're a fan of a guy, we're gonna say, like, I'm a fan of this guy. I want to see him win because I know him personally. And with a lot of you guys, that's just how it is for me. I've known you guys since you were teenagers. Now you're grown ass men. So I will always call out my biases. And on our show, every single one of us, I believe, except for one, picked you to win the spot. So we had watched that match, but I heard the excuses as well of, well, Dake's undersized. Zahid has been in this weight class. He was up at 92. Like, all these different excuses that a lot of people made. And I have zero against. I love Kyle Dake. Like, he's always been super respectful of me. Every time I see him, we're cool. But like, I'm going to call a spade a spade. If I think that this guy can beat him, I'm going to say it. And that's kind of how it was for us. But like, when it comes to you specifically, I did hear those different excuses of the size difference and this, that, and whatever. But like, the size difference is going to be basically really not in your favor at Worlds. So people need to get on board for sure, because the guys that we've talked about, right? The Ramazanovs, the Gaslampours, the guys that, everyone has notched as being, essentially in your way or in your path. I'm guessing one of those two is going to be on the same side of the bracket as you.
Yeah.
You're not, Americans aren't going to get the toughest road. What is your outlook on the World Championships? And, we talked about preparation and things like that, but your mindset has to be right and everything else. But like, what is your mindset on the World Championships, and how are you preparing for the World Championships specifically? Because there are so many guys that have been in this weight class or been at the top of the podium. How do you keep focused on what you want to do and what you have to do when it is such a loaded bracket?
Yeah. I'll answer that right now, but going back to see, just because it pisses me off about the whole size thing. I wrestled at 92 kilos, and that's 202. I weighed in at World Championships at 195. Like, I was 7 pounds up. So talking about size and makes a difference, BS. Okay.
Yeah.
But for the World Championships, I've been doing this for so long now, and even looking at the team, I feel like I'm one of the vets now. It's the only other person older than me is Snyder on the team. And just going back to just my confidence, I think I'm the best. I think I could score from wherever. I think my conditioning is good. I just don't see any possible way that these guys could beat me. Offensively, they can't. Defensively, they can't. Like, front headlock. And I think one thing I've worked a lot in this past year is my top-bottom game. I think I could turn anyone now. Just I got to pick and choose my spots. And obviously, there's a bunch of tough guys, but I'm used to wrestling tough, and I think that's one thing my dad did a good job of, like, growing up. He wanted me to lose, and he gave me that competition. I was 9 years old, and at Tulsa National, I was wrestling 10 and under at Tulsa Kickoff. My dad's like, "This is too easy. Like, I needed to get this guy lost." So at 9 years old, he bumped me up to 12 and under. You know, I still ended up winning, but he just forcing me to have those tough matches and losses. So that way, I think all of that has helped me to have the confidence I have in myself now. And I think it comes from my training too. So I just see them as another human being. Like, okay, I get one of them's an Olympic champ. It's like, that's gonna be me soon. I'll be Olympic champ 2028. It just hasn't happened yet, and that's kind of just my mindset. And just continue just working with my coaches, my teammates, doing what needs to be done and what I've been doing my whole life. I don't think anything changes. Winning.
Speaking of training, how much do you and David Taylor go live?
So he rolls around with me a lot. We haven't gone live.
Well, like since your match, probably.
Since probably we went live like right after he got done wrestling at Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. But no, he just rolls around, and I just have so many partners there that I don't necessarily need to go with him every day. But he's always paying attention, always, adding some stuff or adding some mindset to, or tactics wise, of what I should be doing, which I'm really grateful for. But yeah, we roll around here and there.
We want to be a fly on the wall for that shit.
I got to watch Zahid wrestle with Pendleton at ASU, and those were always really fun because Pendleton was so much bigger than Zahid. Like, you talk about size difference, that was a size difference. Like, they were the same height, but Pendleton was big, and there was some scraps that day. There was some really good scraps that day.
Now I whooped that ass.
Oh, I'll send it. I'll send it to Chris.
Send it to him.
I'll send it to Chris.
Yeah,
I'll send it to Chris.
I want none of this no more.
Yeah.
He's old now. He's old. He's married. He's a dad. He's old.
Yeah.
So,
he's gonna love this.
We got a little bit. Zach wants to know who's your favorite active wrestler. Zach, it's 100% himself.
Active wrestler. Let me see. I'm trying to think who's on the team. I think Car Style. I like watching David every time he's up on the mat, and I feel like I have we've worked with each other a lot in the past and continue to work with each other just at the OTC and stuff. So I do really enjoy watching him wrestle, and just kind of the jumps that he makes after he loses. He's kind of just has that mindset, get back to the drawing board. He's not gonna get discouraged off a loss, and he actually comes back better the next time.
Yeah, crazy wrestling IQ. I don't think there's not too many people that make adjustments like David Carr like after a loss. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Sonny asks on Instagram chat. He asked, "Have they talked to you about hiring you as a coach at OK State?"
At OK State, no, they have not. That'd be cool though.
And then Matthew Rocha's got some questions for you. He said, "What have you learned wrestling at Stake, and have you been able to defeat him where so many others have failed?"
What did I learn against Stake? I don't get caught in a chest wrap. That's one. I just think you just gotta elevate the leg and just because I got caught there a couple times, but elevate the legs. I just don't. It's like any other match, I'm gonna have my offense and do what I do, but just those little adjustments, and I think I made them well, even from US Open to Final X.
I got a couple questions before I go into your sponsored Dark Sport and how awesome it is. One is, which I always asked your dad, and I want to know from you, is you've been around a lot of champions, Pendleton, Zeke Jones, David Taylor, you've been around them all. And even Aaron Pico. Is it something born in you, Zahid and David Taylor? Is it something that a coach can pull out of you? Is this something that you could teach a kid to be an alpha male and have this belief that you are the baddest dude on the planet? Or is it something that you have to be born with? I always have a struggle. Kata Levis, you've been around some of the baddest dudes on the planet. Is it something taught or is it something that's in you guys?
Um, that's tough because for me, I feel like it was both. I feel like I have it in me, and I feel like no matter kind of what family I was born into, like if I'm me, I'm me. I feel like, but also it's kind of how I was raised too. I was raised not to be soft. Like I'm gonna be a stud no matter what. I growing up, I didn't have a choice. We were gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be tough mofos. But at the same time, I do feel like it's part of me. Like I was ingrained to just like fuck the bullshit. Like I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make things happen and I'm gonna go out there and win. So I don't know. That's tough. I would say it has to be a little bit of both.
Okay.
Gotta be born with it, but you gotta like treat it right. You gotta put yourself in tough positions and face some adversity for sure.
All right. Ryan, you got anything on that?
I agree with it, right? Like I said, like it's you have to have the right people around you to pull it out of you though, too. Like as much as you could be kind of born with certain traits, certain things, that mindset, it's either going to break you or it's going to like really make you step up. So like if you're around the right people and you can see yourself in the position that they're in, right? Like you'll want to be an alpha, so to speak, in any situation, whether it's
Yeah,
business, whether it's athletics, you'll want to be the guy. That's just kind of how you are. And
yeah,
you're not easily broken in those situations where you feel like you need to like degrade somebody else to make you feel better. That's just not how like a lot of people operate, right? Like talking to Jordan Burroughs, I've never really heard Jordan Burroughs say negative stuff about a lot of people. Like even I can remember at NCAAs when I talked to Jordan Burroughs, I believe it was in Kansas City before the Olympic trials, when I asked him like how it was, like because he had to obviously change his diet and change everything, and I asked him specifically about Zahid too, where I said to him, and this was just him and I talking, and I was just like, what do you make of all the people talking about instead of you going down to 74, you going up to 86? And he's like, those guys are big as hell. Like those guys are monsters. He's like, I wrestled Zahid once and I was eating fat and happy. I couldn't imagine if we were both in our training regiments. Those guys are monsters.
yeah.
So like like as much as like the match that they had was like fun and whatever else, like there is still a killer instinct in those exhibition matches. But like when you're around certain people, it doesn't really matter, right? And when you get the privilege of talking to people that know how to bring that out, like Ruben Valencia, like, you know, my dad and my uncle did with me and my brother did with me, like it's that same type of environment. You have to be able to see it, but you also have to want to mimic that as well.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I feel like JB is like one of a kind. He
is.
He won't say anything bad with you, but yet he's able to get his message across. I even hear him talk to like his son and everything. Gets the message across with being like more like a professional. Hey, well, this is what like you're doing. Like Ron, we need some more of this. We need to do this. Or it's like me, like my dad was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get it right. He showed you. You saw it, right? Now do it. It's that simple. Like, why are you watching something different? Like, so it's just different ways. Where I'm more, it's like I kind of like that. Like my dad, like if I'm in my back and my dad's calling me, you know, names that, you know, it's in the lines of being soft and stuff, I'd be like, really? You think I'm being soft? Watch this, and I'll just fight off my back and do whatever it takes, spit hook or, you know, 5-on-2 to get out. It's like don't ever call me that ever again. Like, and it brings out a different fire. Like I don't think it's like, hey, buddy, what are you doing in your bag? Like, that's not the same. Like, I kind of want that cuss at me, like when I'm down and I'm in deep waters and I'm hurting. Like, I feel like I do better when someone's cussing me out because I'm gonna get mad. And it's like, it's respectful. Like, I was like, if I like my partners, if I'm out there with my partners and we get into it, and he says fuck you, and I say no, fuck you. It's like, fuck me, okay, fuck you. But I love that. I feel like more like practices need to be like that. Like, if that's not happening, like you're just going through the motions. Like, you wanted to get kind of chippy in there, and I
Yeah.
live that.
Oh, Ryan. Oh, Ryan. If
You
you
gotta
could
have
be-
guys that bring the fire out of you, man. That's
If
just
you
how it
could
is.
be in those Bosco, the Bosco room is
Yeah.
like a shoebox. It's like a shoebox. People go into the Bosco room like this is where you're training the best guys in the country. It's tiny. But the privilege of all privileges was to see Anthony and Zahid. They couldn't go live maybe once every 3 weeks because it was like the Lion King, Scar and Mufasa just throwing each other up against the walls. It was the coolest shit you've ever seen. Listen, we're running out of time. Before we get into dark sport, I just wanted to ask another thing, and Zahid, have a ton of respect for you. Want to thank you. Um, do you have any advice? Because I get it all the time for wrestling dads that are trying to make their son the next, McKenna, the next, Zahid Valencia, the next Spencer Lee. I know there's a different, there's different ways to make your son a champion, but you're what, 26, 27 years old now.
Hey, man.
Yeah. What would your advice be to a wrestling dad who's starting his son into wrestling and wants him to, be a D1 national champion?
Yeah, it's so different, and it's different for. I think it's gonna be different for each kid. Even you might have to adjust, but I think that ultimately, your kid has to want it. He's got to want it more than you. It's like, can't be mom and dad's dreams and goals, and probably not making it as serious as it needs to be. Like, when I was Tulsa Nationals, if I'm 8, 9, 10 wrestling at Tulsa Nationals, like that was meant everything. Like, if
Everything.
I lose at Tulsa Nationals, I'm not getting into college. My life's over. I'm gonna be homeless. Like,
Yeah.
like, that was it. Like, it meant everything. And like, I kind of like that, but now looking back, it's like, it didn't really matter. Like, who remembers my Tulsa national titles? No one. Like, who cares?
Mhm.
So I think just keeping it fun, so that way they just prolongs their love for the sport. But obviously, it's hard to call wrestling a recreational sport because, like if you play basketball and you end up losing, you had fun. You shot a couple baskets, you scored a couple points, and even if you lose 100 to 50, like, you played the game. You can't play wrestling like if you're going out there and just getting pinned every single match, like, that's not fun. I mean, that's not to me. I mean, there might be people who's like, oh man, that was such a good time, but then that kid's probably not going to be a champion. And
Oh,
hey,
shit.
hey, if you want to be a recreational wrestler because you just love the sport so much, you want to be around it, hey, all to you. That can't be me. As soon as I'm getting pinned, back to back to back, and I can't be the guy, that's when I'm untying my shoes and calling it a day.
Oh, Eddie Money, tag that shit. That's a post right there.
Yeah, they just gotta enjoy it and
Yeah.
want to win for them.
I wanted to get into, you just signed with Dark Sport,
Yep.
and Dark Sport is such a unique brand. The motto is never fucking give up. It's such a bold motto and such a cool just whole vibe. They have a woman kickboxer, Max Holloway, weightlifters. It's not something that
Surfers, skateboarders, yeah, they got
skateboarders. Are you
athletes.
the first wrestler?
The first wrestler.
Yeah, it's so badass, and the gear is really cool. I wanted to ask you why dark sport. Yeah, and the gear is badass. Why dark sport and never fucking give up? It's a bold motto.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you? What it attracted uh you to the brand?
So one of my buddies who's an agent, it, like, found me the company. So I saw their stuff. I liked what they were about. They're more than just like a clothing brand. They're a lifestyle brand, and that's the NFGU, never fucking give up. And so when I met with them and they were telling me about their, their company and the people that they have, and they're trying to get some of the top athletes, and they already have some of the top athletes in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and how they're treated as family. So it's like I added on another family and another group of people. That's like, we have a group chat, and they're all like now checking in and looking in, and it's like when I got put in the group chat, they all welcomed me. So it's like just another added support to the whole support system that I have. And this, Ohana, they're big on that, and family, and making sure that everyone's uh got their best interests. Like, we all want to win, we all want to be good. And I like that it wasn't just, sports specific. NFGU, they talked about, it's like you could have someone in your life that's going through depression, and you just want to remind them, never fucking give up. You're gonna get through this. Or someone that's, ill, and they're at the hospital, and they're fighting for their life. NFGU, never fucking give up. Or you could be broke or anything. So I think it's just having that and looking out for people, and then just sending them that message. If I could do it, then you can. And and I feel like there's been a couple of times in my life where I could have given up on my dream and switched over to Mexico, taking kind of an easy way. Or there was a time at ASU I started looking at becoming a youth coach and starting my own club and everything. But I'm not ready to give up on my dream, and I want to go out there, and they represent that. And so it resonated with me a lot, and I couldn't be happier to be part of Team Dark Sport.
Man, that's so freaking cool, because that answered a lot of questions. Because I did have my notes. How close were you to, just wrestling for Mexico? And how close have you ever been in a place where you said, maybe this isn't for me, I'm done with wrestling? And you just answered all that stuff.
Yeah.
All with dark sport. And it makes even more sense now. It's really cool relationship. Really
Yeah.
super cool relationship.
Just start. I'm looking forward to being with them for a long time, for life, really.
Ryan, you got anything before we head out here?
Yeah, I mean, with wrestling being more sustainable, right? How much did that play into your goals as you got older, right? Like, because you talk about your goals of wanting to be an Olympic champion and wanting to be a world champion at like 9 years old. But when you're 9 years old, wrestling's in a very different place than what it is now. We just talked about your new sponsor. Now,
Yeah.
You have all of these things where you have this support system. How much have you started to see your goals come more to fruition as that support system has grown throughout your career?
It's amazing to see. Obviously, people say it takes a village, and it really does. When I go out there and win worlds, it won't just be me. It won't just be Cowboy RTC. It won't even just be Dark Sport or Nike or Team USA Wrestling. It'll go all the way back to when I was the youth wrestler, and Nate Parker was coaching me, or I'm doing the Terminator practices. Everything that I've done in my life, anyone that's ever given me a compliment or supported me, has led me to where I'm at now. So I think everyone deserves a percentage of my success when I do win, because there's been a bunch of people that helped me. And I even say a percentage goes out to everyone that doubted me and said it to my face, because that was fuel. I appreciate that. So it's just, and I like looking at it that way. You can't do it all by yourself. And I used to be stubborn in that way, like in college. Oh, I could have done this anywhere, or blah blah blah. Like, because I'm tough and I'm the baddest. And like I like in a sense I do believe that, but it's like it was because I had a support system. I had my brothers, my parents, my teammates, friends. So I think all of that just helps.
Yeah.
Man,
Last question that I have, and it's
that's awesome.
obviously I've been privy to all of these things because I've been behind the scenes, but like for people that don't know, what is it like to prepare for the world championships? When, what does your schedule look like from a practice standpoint? And then what does your schedule look like from like going to acclimation camp and what you guys have in store coming up in the future?
Yeah, so next 2 weeks, I'll have more kind of just looking at the positions that I need, what I'm gonna score on. Continue. It's not really time to let up yet, so I'm gonna make sure to have my hard match days, situation days. Make sure I get close to my breaking points, whether it's in the circuits that I do. So that's all good right now. This is what's going on. But once I get to Germany, hit my acclimation camp, at that point with like a week left, 10 days, the work's done. There's not much you could get better in. It's just staying healthy, making sure my weight's good. And that's pretty much it. Just go in and prepare yourself what you've done for the past few months, getting ready and getting prepared. So we'll probably line up more in about 2 weeks. But right now it's kind of still on it, making sure that I'm running on all cylinders.
So awesome, Zahid. Listen, I want to thank you for your time. It feels like this is the most. What is Zach saying? Did he just blue chips? I don't know if Zahid knows. I don't know if Zahid knows what a blue chip is, but
What?
we do give blue chips for gambling bets. I'm sure you could gamble somewhere for the World Championships, probably in Georgia or Kazakhstan or something like that. I don't know if you do.
You can gamble on worlds here in the United States. I don't think
Oh.
the lines aren't out yet. I'll do some digging into that if to plug my own podcast. Make sure you guys are paying attention to the Quad Pod, because when Worlds comes up, we'll do a little bit of a deep dive and we'll tell you where you can bet on Worlds for this year. So you can throw all your money on Zahid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it on.
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to Zahid. This was like we've interviewed some big people, but to me this was the most meaningful thing that I've done in a long time. I wanted America to really know Zahid and to really understand what a good person he is and how hard he has worked for this moment. What is Shanae? What is this lady, crazy Shanae Santiago, asking? We got to get off, Shanae. When wrestling is over and you are married with kids, will your children wrestle? And will you be involved and coach like your dad's coaching style, or will you coach differently? I will add to that. This crazy lady, Shanae. Will you name your first son Zahid Jr.?
Nah, probably not.
Oh, that's a
Probably
strike.
not. But if they want to wrestle, I'm all in. Or they could just
All
play
right.
golf. Or they could just play golf. I don't care. with what they want to do. Obviously, they're probably gonna be around wrestling, so I think it'd be cool if they get into wrestling. But
golf is the safer route.
Golf is probably more profitable as well, right?
Golf is a safer route. I think
I've golfed with this dude. He's good at everything. It's very upsetting. That being said, guys, episode 146. I want to give a big shout out to Ryan. We moved this back so Ryan could be here. He was an asset, and Ryan posts this shit all over the Quad Pod. Zahid, I can't thank you enough. You just did a 2-hour interview with one nobody and Ryan Holmes, and I really appreciate you. You're gonna see a lot of social media posts in the next week. We got so much good stuff, and we love you. The Santiagos love you. Jacob's doing hot yoga, staring at women's sweaty asses somewhere. He's gonna talk shit. You just glazed him, Dad. You just glazed him. Sonny wants to know if you want to coach with them. You and Sonny want to take over Bosco Wrestling. We got to retire your dad. You come back to LA. We golf every day, and then you coach Bosco Wrestling. But
hey, maybe.
Any last words? First, Ryan. Any last words?
No, I appreciate Zahid. Like I said, he's always been respectful to me, and it's always been cool to, not just watch him compete, but have conversations with him throughout the years. And I might have another sponsor for you. My sponsor, Poseidon Strength, is looking for some people to. They have like one of those ropes that you just there's continuous ropes. So they're looking to get an athlete that they can send one of those to that'll post about it. So I'll reach out to you. I'll send it to you. They're looking to get an athlete in there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Zahid, any last words, man?
Man.
To America.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, thanks for having me, guys. That was awesome. I always love talking to you guys and Eddie. I always love the fam. Tell Jacob not to be a stranger. Ever.
He might be moving out. He might be moving out to freaking Stillwater with you, man.
Hey, send them over. I'll get him talk.
Yeah.
Just thank you guys. It's been really fun.
All right, man. Episode 146. Eddie Money, go ahead. Eddie Money, are you awake now? We talked wrestling for 2 hours.
I've been here. Don't worry.
I know.
Shadows.
Eddie Money is going to be editing ferociously for the next fucking week. Guys, I want to thank you again. All the people that participated, Matt Rocha, Not a Wrestler, Zach, everyone who responded. We love you. Zahid, I can't thank you again. It was probably the most meaningful thing that I've done on Two Nobodies. I had an incredible time. And everyone, we'll see you next week. Football season around the corner. That's why we had to get it done.
Here.
Football season around the go. Hey, at ASU could win the Big 12 again, man. Eagles.
Hey, go Birds. Hey, Eagles are winning the Super Bowl. Saquon's rushing leader. Jalen Hurts MVP. Defense #1 in the league. Everything unbiased.
I got Buffalo Eagles in the Super Bowl, but I got Buffalo winning, man.
Whoa, buddy.
Oh, man. We're going to have to revisit this at the end of the football season.
Yes. All right, everybody.
All right. I'll see you guys.
I'll see you guys soon.
See ya.